Hello, boys and girls. It's story time again with me, Santa Claus. Well, Christmas is coming. I'd love to read you a special story now. It's called The Elves and the Shoemaker. Up here now in the North Pole, it's the elves' favourite story. Yes, it is. Ho, 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 ho. Are you all ready to listen now, boys and girls? Then I'll begin. The Elves and the Shoemaker. There once was a shoemaker who, through no fault of his own, had become so poor that he had only enough leather left for one pair of shoes. In the evening time, he cut out the shoes, which he intended to begin the next morning, and he went to sleep. In the morning, when he was about to start his work, he found the pair of shoes standing finished on his table. He was amazed, and he could not understand it. He took the shoes up in his hands, and he examined them much more closely. They were so neatly sewn that not a stitch was out of place. Soon after, a customer came into his shop, and so impressed with the new shoes, he paid much more than the ordinary price for them. The shoemaker was now able to buy enough leather for 2 pairs of shoes with the money. Again, he cut them out in the evening, and the next morning was about to go to work. But when he got up, the shoes were finished. He sold the shoes, and this time had enough money to buy leather for 4 pairs of shoes. Again, he left out the leather that night, and early next morning, he found the 4 pairs finished. This went on for some time. What he cut out every evening was finished, as if by magic, in the morning. One evening, not long before Christmas, when he had cut out the shoes as usual, he said to his wife, "Let's sit up tonight to see who it is that lends us such a helping hand." Now the wife agreed, and they hid themselves behind a curtain in the corner of the room. On the stroke of midnight, 2 little men came and began to make the shoes. The shoemaker could not believe his eyes. They did not stop until everything was finished, and then they ran swiftly away. The next day, the wife said, "The little men have made us rich, and we ought to show our gratitude. They run about with old torn clothes and must freeze with the cold. I will make them little shirts, coats, waistcoats, and will even knit them some stockings. And you shall make them each a pair of shoes." The husband agreed, and that evening, when they had everything ready, they laid out the presents on the table. Then they hid themselves to see how the little men would behave. On the stroke of midnight, they came skipping in and were about to set to work. But instead of the leather ready cut out, they found the charming little clothes. At first, they were surprised. Then they were delighted. As fast as they could, they put on all the pretty clothes. Then they hopped and they danced about in happiness, and they flew out the window, never to return again. The shoemaker continued to make the best shoes in the town, and he and his wife never forgot the kind elves who had helped them in their time of need. Well, that's one of my favourite stories. Ho, ho. I must have read this to the elves, 1,000,000 times. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my goodness, where has the time gone? Boys and girls, it's time for me to go. Now don't forget to be very good for me. And maybe tonight you'll dream about Santa Claus, and I'll be bringing you lots of nice presents. Goodbye, boys and girls. Ho, 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 ho. See you soon.